getting back out today. I did make an adjustment to my Clark pads, so I moved them forward to see whether or not that can address the speed wobbles issue. I haven't yet gotten wobbles, so I'm testing now to see whether I will get them. So I'm trying it out right now to kind of accelerate and see what kind of speed I can get. Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm hitting pretty decent speed without getting any wobbles. So I think it might have been the Clark pads positioning. By moving them up further, I am able to consistently go faster. So that's interesting. I wasn't sure whether that would be the case. The physics of it didn't quite make sense. I had my Clark pads on further back with the idea that I would sort of have the ability for my shins to hit the pads sooner rather than later. So that was sort of the idea behind having the Clark pads set up in that way. I think by adjusting the pads forward a bit, now my heels are a little bit more forward, and that's able to increase the stability when I ride. That's sort of what I'm getting the feeling of right now. I haven't yet really experienced real wobbles. I don't know if the further back position makes more sense for somebody who has smaller feet, maybe. But it seems to me that by moving the pads up, I am not really getting the wobbling that I was before. So, I mean, I probably will still at some point experience some wobbles, but at least as of right now, I've yet to really experience a wobble. So that's what I'm trying to do, is accelerate and feel it out and see whether or not I can get a wobble to happen. I mean, I don't really want the wobbles, but you know, in an effort to figure out what's going on, I want to playing around with it, exploring it. It's a work in progress. I think it's, and I did also, one thing, I didn't really find any videos on this, but in order to actually hit the top speed on this, even after the firmware update, you have to put it into fancier mode or whatever for the Inmotion V11. If you want to hit the 34 miles an hour top speed, you have to go into the place where it specifies this is in the instruction book. So if you hit the top right, there's a book and it shows the instructions on it. So if you want to actually be able to hit, you know, get more into the 30s, like 30 miles an hour or 55 kilometers an hour, you have to go in and change the setting to fancier mode, and the only way that you actually have that setting show up is if you tap, when you go into the settings menu for where you can adjust the top speed, you just tap the title bar on it like 5 or 10 times or something, and that's how it will then unlock the ability to show fancy mode or whatever it is, and that's how you can then increase your top speed to 34 miles an hour, which I have now set mine to that. I don't know, we'll see on this whether this trip I get into the 30s. I just on my watch just looked now, I hit 29.6 I think, so I am getting up there in speed compared to what I was before. So I think that's a big step for me. I feel like I'm starting to make some progress in my EUC learning journey. It's really been a challenge to learn how to ride this thing, and it's been a lot of fun. I think that I've put out a couple of videos, you know, sort of saying that this is a game changer, and I had this chat with my new riding buddy. I mean, these things are just so good. There's no other device out there that you can go 30, 40, sometimes 50 miles an hour on some of these devices and go off-road, and all of that in a device that you can pick up and bring on a train. So I think the biggest limiting factor in my mind now is, well, you can't fly with it. Lithium battery technology is the limiting factor because of the fire hazard that is innate to lithium battery technologies, and specifically the type of batteries that are in EUCs are what's called NMC. So they're higher density power, but they're less stable than something like lithium iron phosphate. Lithium iron phosphate is a stable chemistry that is relatively safe, and I think Begode might have put out a lithium iron phosphate battery in one of their ones, just because they had these fire issues with some of their wheels, but it's not as energy dense. So I'm sort of a battery nerd. I have a motorhome RV that I have 20 kilowatt hours of batteries and a couple of inverters I need to install and work on. That's a backlog project of mine, is to install these giant batteries in my motorhome so that I can always operate as if I'm plugged into shore power. So, you know, battery technology is something that I've done a lot of research on. Solar, so you know, the inverters are actually also solar charge controllers. So having the ability to sort of operate off grid is the idea behind that. So I'm a bit of a battery technology off grid nerd. So there's a lot of things out there that are in the works in the world of battery technology. Like, some of the things that are in the works for battery technology are like solid state batteries, different types of sodium batteries. There's a lot of different battery technologies that are pretty exciting in the world of that. So some of those, like some sodium-based batteries and solid-state batteries, won't have the same fire hazard of some of these lithium-ion batteries. So that is, I think, the biggest limiting factor of these electric unicycles. They have such large batteries that it's unsafe to fly with them. So that is, to me, where the next big thing. So lithium was sort of a battery revolution, but the next battery revolution is getting past lithium, and there's a lot of interesting stuff and interesting technology in the works, and so this extends beyond just EUCs, but, you know, electric vehicles, because then you also have charging rates, which lithium charging rates are pretty fast and they're pretty good, but not great when you're talking about transporting cargo, because it takes a lot of energy to move cargo. So that's why, you know, like Tesla revealed the giant truck, the semi, the Tesla Semi. It hasn't come out yet, and you know, a lot of that probably has to do with the battery technology is not in a place where they can confidently execute on that in a profitable way. So, you know, that's stuff that it's all interesting to me. You know, drop a comment below if some of that interests you and you want me to talk more about that sort of thing. I'm not a battery expert, but I've done a lot of research on this stuff from the standpoint of both trying to build my own systems and just with, you know, an eye on the future as a general technologist. So, you know, drop a comment if that interests you, and I can probably talk more about that. But yeah, so once there is really stable battery technology that can be flown, there's not really going to be any limitation left for EUCs. You'll be able to bring one of these on a plane, either check it or carry on or whatever, and then, you know, you just have the ability to travel and not need to rent a car, because whatever city you're going to, you can really get anywhere with you know, 50-60 miles of range and going 40 miles an hour. I mean, there's not many limits to it, so it's super exciting in my mind to have that power, and that's why I love the idea of these electric unicycles. Make sure sHapnin's happening on that like button. It really helps with the almighty algorithm. I'm going to continue to put out videos like these. I'm going to be releasing the other series that, you know, is sort of a mixture of some of my hobbies, but for now I'm still just documenting my journey of learning how to ride the electric unicycle. So if you're interested in watching me in real time learn how to ride an EUC, that's really what I'm doing here, and it's a lot of fun. And I gotta say, it's a lot of fun. Right now my left foot is in pain, so I'm gonna go ahead and call this video. Yeah, again, make sure sHapnin's happening on that like button. Really helps with the almighty algorithm. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to keep up with the content I'm putting out and my EUC learning journey, and, you know, helping you on your path to reaching financial independence and financial freedom. So thanks for watching.